I needed was to tell her the truth. Ask him, child. Ask him what happened to your finger. Ask DeWitt.
Hi, I'm Chris Rogers from Rockin' Waves 11294, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFXTV. And this is the WWE Hell in the Cell pay-per-view review right here on this next installment of Bioshock Infinite Part 21. You guys saw very briefly, just to bring everyone up to speed on the last installment, you saw as we rescued Elizabeth, but now Elizabeth has got a vendetta against Comstock. She wants Comstock gone, dead, eradicated, any other form of type of the word. She wants Comstock gone, and she thought Booker was going to stop her. Didn't happen. Booker wants to do it too, so that's what we're doing. We're making our way towards Comstock and trying to finally finish Bioshock Infinite. So while you guys are enjoying that, this is the WWE Hell in the Cell pay-per-view review for 2013. Let me go ahead and introduce the panel for this review. First off, he is the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, which can be heard exclusively on YouTube.com/HWR Show. He is the illuminous one, the shining star, Rick Starr. Rick, how you shining?
You know, WMR, thank you for fucking up that pay-per-view for me.
Our resident music mogul is here from YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
You know, for the last show, for the last time we're probably going to see a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, good job.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vacant's biggest fan is here. He's the Bay Area MVP, known as Will. Will, what's up?
Oh, Lord. Satellites go down.
And ladies and gentlemen, my proud fellow member of the Who Dat Nation, James from the Big Easy is here. James, how
Celebrating a Saints win, and guess what? We found out that Rudy Charles made his appearance in WWE as a referee. All right.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, let's start off with the kickoff show. Now, it was reported earlier that the original scheduled match was going to be Curtis Axel defending the Intercontinental title against Big E Langston. But as it was reported by WWE earlier today, that matchup actually got nixed due to a hip injury suffered by Curtis Axel, and a lot of people are thinking that's probably a kayfabe line or something. Maybe they thought if they put the Intercontinental title match up, that it was almost a guarantee that the title was going to be.
Well, I found out, I had some breaking information on that.
Go ahead.
He blew his hip up because he the title was too heavy around his waist.
Oh, jeez. So anyway, the replacement match: Kofi Kingston, Damian Sandow. Rick, talk about this match. What happened?
Well, it was a pretty good for a replacement for what it was. We had expected a little bit more, but at the end of the day, I think what they really wanted to do is they wanted to get Damian Sandow out a little bit because he is the Mr. Money in the Bank, and he really has not really gotten a lot of exposure as Money in the Bank. Anyway, at the end of the day, he does take out Kofi Kingston. I forget what the name of his move is, but he takes
Nelson Slam.
Well, it's a full Nelson Slam, but I think he does actually have a name for it. But yes, it's a full Nelson Slam. Gets the win. Overall, not a bad match. 3 out of 5.
As we look now to the actual start of the pay-per-view, they start off with the triple threat WWE Tag Team Championship match. Cody Rhodes and Goldust defending the titles against the Usos and the Shield. And you want to talk about a bang-bang match. to start off the actual Hell in a Cell pay-per-view coverage. Man, this triple threat tag team match really shined when it comes to tag team wrestling. I mean, they really put a lot of emphasis on it and looked great. You know, there was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of great stuff about this match that I really liked. You know, there were so many good things. At one point, I thought they were going to end the match without actually having the Usos being involved in that. And it kind of looked like, you know, the Usos just sat there being robbed. And I know a lot of fans would have been pissed about that. I mean, you know, if they would have ended the match without the Usos being involved, then what was the fucking point of putting him in the match in the first place? But, anywho, to make a long story short, the ending of the match, Seth Rollins finds himself in the middle of the ring with the tag team champions. Goldust hit the big right hand, which Rollins then falls back to Cody Rhodes. Rhodes hits the crossroads, gets the win, and still your WWE Tag Team Champions, Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Lance, my question to you is, are you at all surprised that WWE kept the tag team titles on Cody Rhodes and Goldust?
No, I'm not, because from what I hear, they're still trying to. They're trying to go for long title reigns to actually make the titles mean something.
Well, yeah. But I'm going to tell you what, for match 1 and it being a triple threat tag team match, guys, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I was thoroughly entertained by this tag team title match. I got to say, I can't say anything bad about it because Cody Rhodes, Goldust, Usos, and Shield, all three teams looked really good in this match. The crowd was into it, and I got to say, it was a good, energetic match, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was a good match to start off Hell in a Cell. Now, up next, apparently from what I was told on the pre-show, Miz was demanding a match with Bray Wyatt, and Miz was, quote, injured and would not be cleared to do a match against Bray Wyatt. But apparently WWE really saw fit, wanted to do something, Lance, with Miz and Bray Wyatt, and Miz called him out, but Bray Wyatt really responded but didn't come out, did he?
No, he didn't. He said something along the lines of fear, something behind the eyes or something. And then,
Like fear the monster behind my eyes or something like that?
yeah, yes. Then he had his two boys, Harper and Rollins, or Rollins, I'm sorry, come out, beat him down, and then we hear the hellfire and brimstone of Kane come out to try to save the day. But I don't give a damn what anybody says. That was not Kane.
Rick, do you
Something
agree?
was up there. The mask did not even fit.
I'll be honest with you. If that was the case, I did not pay attention. I mean, you know, Kane could have lost a little bit of weight.
In his head?
You know, I mean, it's chin or whatever. I honestly, you know what? If you call that, then I won't. I'm not gonna back up nor deny that. That's
Something looked a little off. I'm just saying.
You're scoring that segment, Lance.
3.
Alright, the second match was set up because of what happened on Friday Night SmackDown. It was something that both me and you were discussing on the review a little bit, Rick. You know, about what was the point of having Fandango and Great Khali, and when they're just going to throw out the match by having Natalya and Summer Rae do kind of a run-in of sorts. It was probably now to set up this match, Fandango and Summer Rae taking on the Great Khali and Natalya, and I gotta say, for my first real opportunity to see Summer Rae, yeah, I know Summer Rae is big in NXT, even though I still need to get in the habit of watching NXT on Hulu. I do apologize for my lack of NXT reviews when I said 2 weeks ago I was going to start covering it. But I do know, I have heard Summer Rae was big in NXT, but tonight was my real first opportunity to see Summer Rae in the ring. Rick, how would you kind of grade Summer Rae's first in-ring WWE action?
on a scale from 1 to 5, I'd have to give her a 3. You know, I mean, she's not bad. Definitely better than some of the divas that we saw that's come right down the pipe earlier. If this is a sign of her starting and moving up, if she can get better, absolutely. So time will tell. But yeah, for a debut match, she did impress me.
Definitely.
She made a few spots that was a little but it was her only first match here in WWE. So time will tell.
Finish of the match came with Summer Rae schoolgirling Natalya and getting the pin. Therefore, your winners of the match, Fandango and Summer Rae. Rick, my next question to you: are you kind of surprised at the result?
No, because they obviously are going to have to kind of give her that little bit of a push. So obviously, for Summer Rae to get over on someone like Natalya, that's that big push, and that's going to be that big next. By the way, over the Lance, I did do a little bit of look the pics at WWE.com. That is Kane.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe they didn't have the mask fitted right or something.
Possibly.
I don't know, but that's Kane, his body, and even I saw a close-up of his face. If that's not him, then they got a damn good look-alike.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
Okay, I'm good.
Rick, your score for Fandango and Summer Rae defeating Great Khali and Natalya.
Yeah, I'll give it again. This is it was an okay match. I mean, I have to admit the Divas probably entertained me more than Fandango and Khali did. If I have to put them separate, Fandango and Khali, I'd put it as like maybe a 2. The Divas, I'd probably have to put a little bit higher, so I'll give it an 8.
Well, up next, the United States Championship match was up next as Dean Ambrose was set to take on Big E Langston. WWE moving Langston over from the Intercontinental title match to a United States Championship match. And one thing that I really did say, James, during the onset to everybody that that they were going to give Langston the match. The title, I wasn't so sure about. If this was still the Intercontinental title match, I would say go ahead and put the title on Langston because Axel ain't doing nothing. Dean Ambrose, I believe, is a different story when it comes to that regard. So that's why I'd said at that time that Langston was going to get the match, but not get the win. I mean, not get the title.
And you're correct, really, is that for me, it's like I feel like it's too early in his, face turn to give him a title. Even if it was the Intercontinental. I know Kurt's actually been a bad Intercontinental champion, but because of that, they had to change it up to the United States Championship, which I think was a good move. And basically, giving him the match instead of the title was a better move on their part because of they could keep Big E strong in that new push he has right now, but as I said, it's too early for him to get the title.
Took the words right out of my mouth on that one, as the finish with the match did indeed come with Dean Ambrose getting himself voluntarily counted out, especially after Big E Langston speared Dean Ambrose through the ropes to the outside. That was like a holy crap moment right there in that match. I got to give that to Big E Langston. I thought that was indeed a good spot in that match between Langston and Ambrose. But Langston apparently was not satisfied with the countout victory as he threw Ambrose back in and gave Dean Ambrose the big ending. And something happened in that match, in the course of that match, where we saw Langston opened up underneath his right eye. It was bloodied pretty badly, on his face. Couldn't see what spot it happened on, but it's a safe bet to say that he's going to require some stitches. James, your score for Dean Ambrose and Big E Langston?
I'll give this match a decent 2. I'll give it 3.5 out of 5. I say it was a decent match. The ending was predictable, but I kind of liked it.
One of the featured matches of Hell in the Cell this year was the handicap Hell in the Cell match. Ryback and Paul Heyman taking on CM Punk. WWE kind of throwing a swerve of sorts into this match. Both Punk and Ryback are already in the ring, and they have this guy, Paul Heyman, and a guy on the left. By the way, whoever was driving that lift, you need to learn to fucking drive a lift. If you don't know how to operate a vehicle, don't take the chance of going out there and making yourself look like an ass in front of thousands and thousands of people. And that's what basically that guy did. He made himself look like an idiot in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, especially on a pay-per-view basis. You don't want to do that, but that's what that guy did. And they started the match. Heyman's cutting a promo. The lift is bringing him up, and throughout the entire duration of this match, Heyman is on top of the cell. Rick, I gotta ask you, the way that this started and the way they kind of played this matchup between Ryback and Punk, they solely made it a one-on-one contest of sorts. Do you feel that that was a smart move by WWE to kind of keep Heyman out of the match and leave it to just Ryback and Punk?
Well, we really didn't see what was on the card. It was supposed to be a quote-unquote a handicap match, and that's not what a handicap match was it? If they wanted to do something like that, then they should have, he should have made a stipulation where he was kind of hung in a cell, in a cage,
Mm-hmm.
like you should do back. Remember back in the old WCW days.
The J.J. Dillon.
That exactly. And then when he wins, after he knocks him out, he gets to have his way with him, because that's pretty much all it was. And I'm sorry, I think everybody who watched that match, yeah, of course he got to climb the cage and he beats him on top of the cage, which, yeah, but I think a lot of people kind of felt robbed because it really wasn't a handicap match. This whole card, from top to finish, was really a lot of, they kind of shuffled the whole card around, which is really a first. And I think this is what happens when you rush a card 2 or 3 weeks after another pay-per-view. People are going to say that, Curtis Axel's injured, so he can't have this match. Bunch of bullshit. This is just a lot of crap. But, let's move on. The match itself, for what it was very decent. Yeah, to see, Paul Heyman on top, and then finally CM Punk finally get to climb on top and beat him down. It's great. I hope it's the end of this feud, but something tells me it's not. My overall score for the match and the ending segment and the post-match segment, I'll have to give it a 4.5 out of 5. It was really good.
In the matchup that was set up on Friday Night SmackDown, we have another tag match, Los Matadores and El Torito taking on the Real Americans. A lot of fans were wondering, we see new gear from Los Matadores and El Torito. I thought it looked alright. But the big thing about this, well, as the fans always do whenever they see Antonio Cesaro, the big Cesaro swing. How many revolutions are we talking this go around?
I think I counted 19, 20. I really wasn't paying attention.
No, you might want to go higher.
Or
31.
Not too sure.
JBL said 31 swings, so he said he counted it.
All right, exacta.com up there.
I'm sorry.
All right, well, back to the match at hand. It looked like they went to a thrift shop and got them new colors. Other than that, match straight to the point. Back and forth match. Zeb Coulter still on the mic, yada yada yada. Okay, Yosemite Sam. Overall, it was pretty good. Cesaro will always get a better reaction than Swagger. Case in point. I'll give the match a 3. Real Americans will want to miss that spot, so look for Fernando and Diego to get some future wins and maybe a shot for the belts, but we'll see. But match 3.
And needless to say, a matchup with Los Matadores, they did not take on 3MB, thank God. As we look at the World Heavyweight Championship match, Alberto Del Rio defending against a returning John Cena. Cena, for being gone for nearly 2.5 months, still looked in really good shape. His left arm really didn't seem to have any kind of an issues or any kind of effects at all from his elbow surgery. And here's the thing, and I've said it before, I've tried to explain it, so I'm going to dumb it down to all you pure Cena haters. who actually believe they know more about the business, even though they've just been watching wrestling for probably the past 5 years. And it's going to be a really, really nice, simple, clean statement. And I mean it with the purest of respect. From yours truly, the Wrestle Gamer. Fuck you. That is all. You don't know shit about the wrestling business, okay? You don't. So,
Is direct to join Ecstasy 69?
I said Cena haters. I didn't say troll haters.
Oh, okay.
But, anyway, case in point, WWE needed to do something to bring some legitimacy back to the World Heavyweight Championship belt. Alberto Del Rio was failing. He was failing as a World Heavyweight Champion. John Cena, he has the name, he's got the ring awareness and the credibility to bring some dignity back to that championship belt, to bring some finesse, to bring some limelight back to the World Heavyweight Championship belt. And they needed that. They needed that for the belt and for SmackDown. And with Cena being the World Heavyweight Champion now, a lot of fans will kind of draw themselves towards Friday Night SmackDown. They'll kind of gravitate a little bit towards Friday Night SmackDown, and WWE will get the ratings that they need to make sure that SmackDown stays as a good, strong Friday night show. Hands down, that's why WWE put the title on Cena. Not because he's just John Cena, period. No, Del Rio was indeed a miserable fucking fail as a World Heavyweight Champion. The title belt was basically being thrown in the garbage by keeping it on Del Rio. They needed to put on someone who actually can represent themselves as a champion. John Cena can do that. I don't give a fuck what you fucking idiot Cena haters have to say about that. John Cena can bring some legitimacy to the World Heavyweight Championship, and if you guys say otherwise just because his gimmick is stale, guess what? Fuck off. You don't know anything about the fucking business. Matchup was great, other than the fucking stupid Cena haters in the crowd. 4 out of 5, that is my opinion, hands down. As we go to the Divas Championship match, AJ Lee taking on Brie Bella, and of course our resident Divas correspondent is James. James, looking at this match, you know, Brie Bella has really been shining and really progressed a lot as of late, and a lot of thinking that WWE was finally going to take the title off of AJ Lee and put it on Brie Bella. Did that happen?
No. Simple as that, no. So basically what happened was back and forth match, but the ending kind of threw us in a loop. Basically, Brie Bella had a, what was that type of, like, crab leg or something? I don't know.
A single leg crab?
Yeah, single leg crab, thank you, Billy, because you're the wrestling person. Single leg crab, basically, Tamina was on the apron. Nikki Bella, pulled Tamina down, had a cat fight. AJ was on the rope, bottom rope. Brie does her knee, but she didn't hit with AJ. She connected with Nikki, and basically AJ just took advantage and hit the Black Widow for the finish. And your winner, still Divas champion, AJ Lee. I say this match was this was a good match. It was decent, I would say. As you said, Billy, that Brie is improving, and I enjoy seeing her improved, unlike her sister. But that's good. That's another case. But I also felt like this could maybe a smidgen of a Bella breakup, maybe.
You never know. Your score?
My score, I'll give it the 3 out of 5.
Main event of Hell in the Cell was the WWE Championship match. Randy Orton taking on Daniel Bryan with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. There were so many references. There were so many different scenarios that could have played out tonight. You know, there were a lot of speculation as to, you know, were they really going to put the title on Daniel Bryan? Were they going to put it on Randy Orton? You know, were we going to see Shawn Michaels do a heel turn? You know, was there a swerve in there somewhere? Well, Ricky, exactly what was the swerve in this match?
Well, if you want to talk about the, first off, I mean, we come to the Hell in a Cell main event. The match was going great. We're working all the way, and then all of a sudden, somehow, I kind of lost my stream. So, and all of a sudden, I found out. I guess Triple H finds his way in the cell, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Now Brian, of course, is like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing in here?" And for his trouble, Triple H gets a couple knees to his face. Now, this is where I get a little foggy. Now, I understand that Triple H and HBK are friends, but HBK says, hey, look, you just attacked my friend. Well, the friend who was the COO, who was supposed to be impartial, who should have had no business being in the ring, who had no business being in that cell, attacks Daniel Bryan, gives sweet chin music. And then all of a sudden he gets, oh my god, I should have done that. But of course, he still lets Randy Orton cover him. 1, 2, 3, we have a new champion. And I'm Godsmacked. Now, folks, you can sit there and say that he was just, he was just, backing his friend. He's a friend to HBK first before anything else, and that's why he did what he did. And you guys can if you guys believe that, you're just a fucking muck. Period. I'm sorry. No. Shawn Michaels screws every single person that every time he's ever reffed a match. Do your history. It's fact.
The Undertaker, when it was Undertaker and Bret Hart. I remember that.
Yeah. Even WrestleMania 30, he even fucking
28.
28.
Looking at match in the future?
You're looking into the future.
I'm looking in the future, and guess what? He still will fuck up that person, He just can't keep his nose out of matches. Was it a great match for what it was? Yes. The ending? Controversial and shitty. And, and the reason why he's going to do it, he's going to show up on Raw, and he's going to say, Hunter, you should have made me do it. I wish you didn't make me do it, buddy. And the reason why he's going to do it is so he can make himself still look like the babyface, so he can keep his buy rates up for WrestleMania. So all the marks will say, Mr. WrestleMania is coming, because he has to look like the good guy. Fucking suckers. Sorry.
But here's the thing I have to say about that, and it's just a very quick thing. When it comes to WrestleMania and Shawn Michaels, his name, does bring credibility, and, if you hear about a wrestling event, even if Shawn Michaels isn't wrestling, now if he is there just to make an appearance and sign autographs at any kind of a wrestling event, Shawn Michaels' name puts asses in seats.
No doubt. I'm not doubting that. And like I said, I agree. And I just think it just would have been better if the match just was a clean win or a clean loss. But it was just obvious.
Well,
like I said,
WWE. You have to expect controversial.
Controversial? No, you have to expect predictability. I said this Friday night how it's going to go down. I said Shawn Michaels is going to screw Daniel Bryan. It's not controversial. It's World Wrestling predictability.
Hell, I said Wednesday on the show.
Thank you very much.
And I'm an HBK mark. I say it proudly, but this I saw coming.
Yeah. Why do you think they had Shawn Michaels in there? Because they figured, oh my god, because all the marks wouldn't be able to see past their own fucking nose to realize that he's going to screw them.
As we alienate a lot of people here on WGS-TV, Rick, your main event, your score for the main event?
Just the match itself was phenomenal. Like I said, it was definitely a 4.5 out of 5. Just the ending sucked. So I can't give it a full 5.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to find out everyone's overall scores and their picks for best and worst match or segment of Hell in the Cell this year. For me, my overall score, I'm going to give it a solid 3.75 out of 5. Overall, you had a good content. It was a good start with the tag team match. Fandango and Summer Rae, Great Khali and Natalya, I thought it was kind of okay, getting a chance to finally see Summer Rae's in-ring work. Dean Ambrose, Langston was okay at best. And like Rick said, a lot of people did feel robbed about Ryback and Heyman taking on CM Punk, but uh, overall, what my best match of the night. I might get a little bit of slack about this one, but I'm going to go ahead and say that the triple threat tag team match, because to me, there was a lot of good entertainment value about it. You know, the fans were into it. There was a lot of good energy, a lot of good spots in the match, and it kept me thoroughly entertained, especially for the opening of Hell in the Cell. And I got to say, it was a good way, a great way to start off Hell in a Cell with a bang bang match like that triple threat tag team match, and I thought it was really good. And I gotta say, good job to WWE. Worst match? I gotta say, the matchup that fell short to me was indeed. I'm torn between. I don't want to be rude about Ryback and Heyman and CM Punk, considering the fact that it wasn't as quote a handicap match per se as it was advertised. You know, a lot of people were saying, you know, we were supposed to have an advertised Paul Heyman and Ryback inside Hell in the Cell taking on CM Punk, not Paul Heyman on top of the Hell in the Cell as inside Ryback took on CM Punk. I really don't want to say it's that match, because to me that matchup was still good in my opinion, even though it wasn't as advertised per se. But I gotta say the match, you know, there were a lot of good matches. The one that fell short to me was Fandango and Summer Rae taking on Great Khali and Natalya. Now, don't get me wrong. I was impressed with Summer Rae's in-ring. As far as I'm concerned, I got to agree what was said earlier. That the Divas really kind of outshined Fandango and Great Khali. Then again, I think a stop sign could outshine the Great Khali, or and Fandango for that matter. But so I was gotta say I was impressed, but with Summer Rae's in-ring work, seeing her for the first time, and Natalya, you know, with her lineage and her history, she's always got good in-ring ability. So, but the thing is, when you're in a mixed tag match, both people are supposed to really shine in the match, not just uh, you know, one person on your team. And the fact that it was guys against guys and girls and against the girls, and when the Divas outshine you, what does that say about your credibility as an in-ring worker? Not too much. But then again, look at the two people that they were in the ring with, Fandango and Great Khali. I gotta say, even Hornswoggle could probably outshine the Great Khali in the ring. But anyway, officially that's my pick. So we're gonna go to Rick next, find out his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Hell in the Cell.
Um, you know what? I'm gonna have to say, like I said, despite how the ending worked out, came out. You know what? I'll still say that the best match of the night was Bryan and Orton. Like I said, I just was very, very displeased with how the ending came out. The opening set of the match was a great, great match. That triple threat tag team had a lot of energy, had a lot of great spots. Awesome, awesome match too. So I'm not taking nothing away from that as well. But the worst match of the night, yeah, that mixed tag. It's quite a shame, like you said, when the Divas, which we've said many times as a piss break, can outshine your male wrestlers. That's saying something. Yeah. So, my overall score, not a bad pay per view. I'll have to give it a 4.
All right, let's go to Lance next and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match. Well, let's just say match, because there weren't really that many. There was only one segment, and that was that segment with Miz and the Wyatts and the return of Kane. But anyway, best and worst match for Hell in a Cell.
Well, I gotta give it a 3.75. Best match. And I know this is gonna shock a lot of people that I say this, because I am known as not a fan of this guy. Cena Del Rio.
Hmm.
And I'll give him credit where it's due. I was impressed tonight. Worst U.S. title match.
Really?
Yeah. To me, it's up. When I saw that, I thought we'd see a better match.
All right. well, let's go to James next and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Hell in a Cell.
2 notes I want to say before I do my segment. Number one, after the match, Dean Ambrose got 8 stitches under his chin. Biggie Langston got 7 stitches under his right eye. As I said, number two, as I say, the side note, because I do follow the referees, Rudy Charles was the referee for the Divas title match. It's the same Rudy Charles from TNA. He's NXT and he's go by Dan something in NXT now. But overall, let's go. This off topic, but going on to this, Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, I give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's kind of up and down, but my pick for best match has to go to the tag team match. I really enjoyed the tag team title match. Not the mixed tag team, but the tag team title match, triple threat. My worst has to be the mixed tag team match. As Billy said, if your divas outshine the superstars, you have a problem.
And finally, we go to Will and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Hell in a Cell.
I'm gonna give this pay-per-view 3.5. Best match, triple threat for the tag belts. A lot of energy. Everybody's ready to go. Worst match, I'm gonna shock you all. Fandango and Khali put me to sleep. And I want to note one other thing. Still on Hell in a Cell topic. Zeb Coulter did not lose his teeth. He is okay.
Okay.
And yeah, worst segment. I'm sorry, I'm not sold on Renee Young yet. I don't see her lasting in WWE any further.
Wait. Who? I could have sworn you said Mae Young.
Renee Young.
Renee, alright.
The social media correspondent. I just don't like her. She looks stale. Sorry.
Alright, well, we're all entitled to our differences and our opinions when it comes to that. So what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, yes, that's all of them, including Ecstasy69 and MetaRuler45, Rick, they are entitled to their opinions, what they thought.
If you say so.
What they thought of WWE's Hell in the Cell pay-per-view for this year. What were your guys' overall score, and what were your picks for best and worst match or segment of Hell in the Cell? We definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. We want to hear what your ratings are. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Rick, where can fans check you out on HWR?
Of course, I was checking out my Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And don't forget to check us out on our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/HWR Show. And we just posted a brand new video, and that's a tribute to Chris Benoit. Go check it out.
Yes, for pure wrestling fans only. Be sure you check out that tribute to Chris Benoit. One-minded motherfuckers who think, oh, Bruce Benoit's a murderer, he's a killer, not gonna check it out. Fuck off. Lance?
But you know what? Hey, you know what? Even for them, if they want to go check it out, but you know what? Let them check it out. And I want them to put their comments below, but I want them to at least watch it before they make their comments. At least, you know.
Well, alright, well, yeah, you bring up an interesting point as we go to Lance and find out what fans can expect to see when they come visit his channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV.
Album reviews, NASCAR reviews, wrestling reviews, a little bit of wrestling reviews, NASCAR, Q&As when I get questions to answer, cooking videos, and I should be able to do the videos this week. I'm getting my eye checked out tomorrow, so we'll see where we go from there.
Yes, well, one, ladies and gentlemen, worships El Torito. One got a little stiffy when Paul Heyman got whipped by a little sticky. That's James and the area MVP on as well. Guys, what you got coming up?
The hell? Oh, Khali, I'm gonna smack you with a duck later.
Halloween's coming up. Get your candy, stay safe. If you don't believe in Halloween, play your video games.
Yes, WWE 2K14 coming out. Bye, bye, bye. But anyway, me and MVP, we on hiatus from the Instagib scene, but we would talk about our game shows somewhere, football, wrestling. You will check us out on the Hardcore Wrestling page as I do my Divas of the Day.
And also, if I do the heels of the day, so stay tuned, fans.
Fans, also don't forget to like the Facebook page for WGS-TV. That's facebook.com/WGS-TV. And don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network. So for the Illuminous one, the Shining Star, Rick Starr, the Incomparable, Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV, James the Big Easy, and the Bay Area MVP known as Will, I'm the WrestleGamer. Double B Billy Bujo saying thank you very much for watching. Pay attention, Curtis Axel, as tonight's Hell in a Cell review has been brought to you by James from the Big Easy's brand new charity, Hips Are Us.
And if you buy the WWE 2K14, put in our codes HWR or WGS-TV, and R-Truth will come to your house and deliver. That's what was up.
Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Spiritual speaking. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. I'm Haley Ring Rose. Stoke answers.
My name's Andrew Weatherall.
Spiritual speaking. Stoke answers.